going to tie the bumble. I know this is one that David wants to sort of way see. So it's a uni thread in black, or any black thread, all right? Do you just want me to go through it the way we were doing it, step by step? Or do you want me to tie it? You happy enough? Right. So, just going to come in, get your thread started off. Work it down past the point of the hook. The tail is golden pheasant tippet. This one here, I've just dyed a hot orange. So you want to come in and just get rid of the rubbish. Just throw it on the floor. And then you just want to take a few fibres of the golden pheasant. Now the length of the body on this, or the length of the tail, sorry I should say, is usually roughly the length of the body. And what I mean by that is, basically I like to see the second black bar shown, but coming no further past than past the bend of the hook. So just where I'm holding it there. So just pinch it, come around with a pinching loop, and just work the thread back. And you don't want to go past the barb of the hook. Now what you can do, you can come up and lift and take a turn in underneath and come back up on top. And that'll sort of way lift the tail up for you. Now see, when you're cutting your golden pheasant, the best thing to do is take the feather and bring it through your finger and thumb until you reach the tip, and that'll line up all the feather, or it'll line up all the tips for you before you cut your golden pheasant off. Then come in, trim that to the length of the body. The rib is an oval gold tinsel, or you can use a wire, just whatever you've got there. Or a mylar will do as well. So I'm just going to come in and catch this in on the opposite side of the hook. At this point, and boys, best advice I can give you is, if you don't use it, start using wax, and then just the wax thread. We'll just work this forward and then bring it back down in open turns, because it really doesn't matter, because the body's going to be dubbed. Now I have loads of seals fur, but I've basically made near enough the full transition over. Bring this camera up a wee touch. I've basically made the transition nearly over now till the traditional Irish dubbing. So you can use the light claret, the medium claret, or the dark claret. It's really up to yourself. Or you can mix all three. So I'm using this is the dark claret here. So, a bit like the way I demonstrated last week for you, is just dub your thread. You don't need any wax. Keep it mobile. Bring the thread up, or the dubbing up. Get it started on the hook, and then basically, as you bring this forward, put a bit of shape into the fly with the dubbing, working it up to there. Any excess, just remove it. Any wee fibres want to go forward, just sweep those back and bring the thread up in front. Now, the two body hackles, the first one is claret. So get yourself a nice claret, and then you're looking at a nice black. Now on the original flap would have been the Kingsmill Moor tied. It would have been actually a natural black cock. This is dyed. Now this might be a wee bit difficult for some of you just starting off. But what you want to do is, you want to tie these in together. So you just take the two feathers, right? Just put the two feathers together. You want to try and get the two feathers near enough equal lengths, right? Then just come in. Make sure I've got this on camera for you, so you're seeing it on the screen. Just remove the fibres, right? Now, just show you it this way first, and then we'll tie the wee variant. So, my black's in front of the claret. Just offer this up to the hook. Keep the two feathers together. Come round. Good half a dozen turns or so, just to catch it in. And then come in and trim away the waste. And at this point, I would usually just wind these with my finger and thumb, but I'm just going to show you. So just, if you bring the feathers up and just engage the hackle pliers and come straight round. Now see, because you have two hackles on this, I'm not taking two turns at the front, so it's one turn and then go straight in to your palmern. Down to your, roughly about 4 turns or so. Come up with your rib. Leave the tips of your hackles there. And then you want to come through with your oval gold tinsel. 4 turns. Sweep the fibres back at that want to go forward of the eye. Just come in and sweep those back. Bring your rib up in front. And then just catch this in, nice and tight. And then just come in, trim away your waste. Now, if you're brave, you can crack them off, but just to be safe, just come in and remove the hackle tips. Then if you have a dubbing brush or a piece of Velcro, this is the time now to come in and just bring out the fibres. Right. So, next, we like a wax, work the thread down to the eye of the hook and come back up to there. Now, obviously, the original pattern used Blue Jay, but Blue Jay is that expensive now. You can use blue guinea fowl dyed blue, or in this case, I'm just going to use a nice, this is just a grizzle that's been dyed blue. So what we want to do is get a decent hackle off here. Nice one there. Now, usually when you watch the YouTube video, you'll see me catching this in at the tip. So what we're going to do this time is, because I want the fibres a wee bit longer, I'm going to catch this in at the bottom of the feather. All right, so we're catching it in at the bottom, right? If you're using a smaller hackle, you can catch it in at the tip. But if I catch that in at the tip, the fibres are just a wee bit more stiff up here. So I just want a wee bit more mobile on this one. So we'll just offer it up. Just come in, come round, 1, 2, 3. Fold back the stem and just work the thread back up. Now you've caught it in, so you should be able just to break that away. And then just come in, sweeping the fibres back. And then just work the hackles, the fibres of the hackle in front. Now, that's 2 full turns, so just want to see what way I am here. Just have a wee check. And at this point, what I want to do is, I'll just put one in for luck. Just to there. Now, some people will tie the bumble as big as size 8s. Me personally, the biggest size I'll go is a size 10, but you can go 12s and 14s. So at this point now, I've got the hackle tied in. As you can see here, look, just bring this forward for you, this part here. I'm going to, basically what I'm doing is, I'll keep it around this way so you can see it. You just sweep, you just bring the hackle back to fold it back. So just bring it back like that. Then just come in, make sure all the fibres are back, and all you're doing is taking your thread turns and working from the front of the eye back up to where your last turn of hackle had took place, okay? If you keep your thread tight, you should be able to break it off like that. Then just bring it back into position, and at this point, just want to try and put a half decent head on the fly. Don't be shy with the head. I know Rob thinks I tie with beads, but I don't. And then just come in with your whip finishing tool and just throw in your standard 3 or 4 turn whip finish, just like that. Pull your thread tight, and then come in and trim away your hang thread. And all but the front hackle, that's a bumble. Then we'll take, obviously just take your drop of varnish, and just don't worry about the eye of the hook, just dab it on, just get it in there. The fish will not worry. Just want to make sure that your eye of your hook is nice and clean. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Hello, young Robert. Not too much, mate. And then just make sure that your eye is clean. All right? Happy enough? And that's just basically your size 10 bumble. Happy enough? Right? Dead on. Matthew, you've tied bumbles before. Come over here and give Emmons a wee, you know what I mean, once you're finished, some, just to help him and David out there. And then I'll do a wee variant for you. So I have some of the Glow Bright stuff that we used last week. I use it on a rib, only it's in pink. And what it does is it complements the claret. All right? And I'll show you how to do that. Now the next fly we're going to do is basically the one that I tied for YouTuber for during the week. It's a wee bit more complex in that there's more hackles and stuff in it, and I'm just going to drop the jungle cap out of it. All right, I've given you his address for it anyway, okay? You ready, boys? Right? So it's basically the same process. The only thing we're doing different here is changing out the colour of the tail and adding a rib on. Basically, it's a double rib. So just come straight in with your thread. I have mine waxed, and just work your thread back past the point of the hook and remove the waist tag of thread. Now the tail on this one, this here's been golden pheasant tippet, has been dyed a hot pink. Okay, so just take see all the crap at the bottom, just get rid of it. That's all dirt, you're not going to use it, so just get rid of it. And it's the same process. So just take the feather, bring it in between your finger and thumb and pull it through, and you'll feel the tips lining up between your finger and thumb. Use your middle finger to support the feather, and then just come in and snip away a small amount of fibres. Then when you take your finger and thumb away, the tips should all be lined up. Now, length of the tail, just going to tie this virtually the same style. So you can see that where I'm offering this up, there's the bend of the hook, there's the tips of the feather, and there's the second black bar. So I want the second black bar no longer than the bend of the hook. So just offer this up. Now to pinch and loop, you just bring the thread up, bring the thread in between your finger and thumb and just let the thread drop down. And you will have caught that in. And then just work your thread back again. You don't want to work it, you don't need to go past the barb of the hook. Right? That's the way I would basically just standard tie them all. Now, if you want to lock it in, lift your tail, bring your thread in underneath, bring your thread up, and just bring it back round. Trim away the waste. Now the first rib, I've given you all a strip of this, haven't I? Right? See, before you tie this in, stretch it. The end may break, but just give it a gentle stretch. Just stretch it out gently. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tie this on my side of the hook with a couple of turns. Now you need a rib to catch in the body hackles for the other side of the hook. This is just the Vineyards gold wire. So just offering this up, and I'm just catching this on your side of the hook because you can see it on the screen behind me. And then simply just work your thread forward. If you've got wax, now's the time to use it. We like a wax onto a thread and just constantly work your thread forward. Now, come back down, bring your rib out of the way so you can see what you're doing. So this, Rob, that's just the Vineyards wire. Look. It's just a gold wire, gold plated wire. Now, body colour, I'm just going to stick to the dark claret in the traditional Irish dubbing range. Just slide this up. What is it? No, that's an X-Fly. So just dub on the dubbing. Just work it up. Your body length, any fibres, just sweep them back and bring your thread in front. Now, the first rib up is your edge break. Okay, so this is double ribbed. So your edge break's just going to add the colour to the body. Your rib, the gold wire, while it'll add colour too, it's more for strength to hold the fly together for the palmer tackles. So I've got this tied in now. If you want to stretch this out further, when you have this tied in, do so, but do so very carefully in case it breaks. So just come round with your edge break, and you're just looking 4 turns of the edge break, spaced out, coming up the body. Follow this around with your thread, and just then catch it in 4 or 5 turns. Come in, clip away the waste. Now at this point, I'm just adding an extra bit of wax onto the thread. So what you've done here is, hopefully you can see this behind me, it's picking it up for you. You've built a small base of thread here in front of the body after tying in the rib. This is where you're going to start to wind your hackle. So we'll go back. Same process as the original bumble is take your black and claret hackles. Again, just try and get them roughly the same equal length, right? You take your 2 feathers together, you come in, just select the best part of the feather, get rid of all the flue at the bottom, and you're just going to tie this in, both feathers together. Just come up and just catch these in, nice and tight. That's you there. And then trim away the stems and throw it on the floor. I think I'd be getting told off. I need to get the hoover out. Then, guys, and what I'm trying to do here is, because I know some of you are only starting back and new, I would usually just wind these with my finger and thumb, but it's a good skill to have. Engage the hackle pliers at the tips. Just bring it round, I'm trying to do this slowly for you. That's one turn. Now, because you've got a double hackle on, one turn and then straight into the palmer, but I'm just going to show you with another turn. That's 2 turns at the shoulder. And then with your hackle pliers, and what you're trying to do is come into the spaces, not to cover up the globe right in between. So that's 2 turns at the front and virtually 2 turns coming into the third turn at the back here. Then you take your rib, you follow this around. So this is now, don't forget, you want to tie this on the other side of the hook. Take your rib, bring your hackle up, bring your hackle down into the rib. This face allows me to lean the hackle pliers over and then just basically come up. 4 turns. Disengage the hackle pliers, keep this tight. Just come in and sweep everything back. Bring the wire up in front. Come in with your thread. Bend the wire into your tang thread, nice and tight. And then just basically tack that in nice and tight. Now, this is your bravery test. So if you've tied it in right and you don't want to lift your scissors, you can just break away the hackle tips. So just come in and sweep everything back again and just work the thread back up tight against your hackle. And then if you don't have a dubbing brush, don't buy one, just a bit of Velcro on a lollipop stick and just come in and brush that back. Sweep everything back, nice and tight up to there. Then take your blue guinea fowl, your blue grizzle hackle, your blue jay. If you're using blue jay, that's fine, no problem. Take it. I'm going to use the bottom part of the feather again because I want the softer, longer fibres. No, so you tie, see the hook's facing you, Matthew, so tie in the edge braid facing yourself and tie the gold wire in facing away from you on the opposite side of the hook. Right, then just come in, you've got your blue grizzle hackle here, apologies. Tie that in, another lick of wax. I'm folding back the stem. Now guys, listen, see if you're struggling with a folding back technique, I'll come round in 1 wee second, but you don't have to do this. The folding back technique, what this means is the hackle has to burst. It'll have to burst off. It can't, and it'll not be able to pull out. You know what I mean? So if you're not if you're not doubling them up, there is a chance that even through casting, that the fly will just the hackles or the materials at times will just pop out. So that's 1 turn, and because I've put 2 turns at the shoulder, I'm only going to put 1.5 turns of the blue grizzle in, just to there. Again, take your thread, take your hackle, bring your thread up, bring the hackle down into the thread. This catches it in nice and tight. 3 turns right in behind the shoulder of the hook, as in the eye. Fold back the hackle. Come in and sweep everything back, and then just work your thread back up, nice and tight. Just to there. You keep your thread tight, and break the hackle away, and then just come in with your whip finishing tool, pull your thread tight, and come in and trim away your tang thread. And that's just the variant. And do you see that glue? Do you see that edge bright stuff? It's a great material. It just glows. And you can tie it many different techniques using Glow Bright. So just to finish off, we drop a varnish. Usually I'll be using the super glue, but tonight just the varnish onto the thread, and then just make sure your eye is clean. All right, and there you go. That's just a variant. And see the hot pink tail and that rib. So I would tie that. There's a couple of boys I tie this particular pattern for, and that one there does really well on Loch Corrib. If you're going down next year, down south to fish it, it's good to fly at. And I've never fished it myself now, but it might do well on Melvin, you know, with the colours. All right, so how's getting on? Okay? Yeah? All right? Did you get it all right there, Matthew? Yeah? The rib?
I do well with that though, to be honest with you.
And then, like I say, we'll tie another one. We'll tie the one I did the other night for YouTube. So we'll get this out. Put this away. That away. I'll come just over in a wee second. It's cool enough out there, isn't it? Right. So, so chartreuse. Or look, boys, see whatever you have, just use what you've got. It's basically the style of the octopus. There's not much in relation. It's just want to try and demonstrate the style to you. So just take the chartreuse thread. We like a wax through the thread. And then just come in and get our thread started now. Gotta leave yourself plenty of room at the front of this one. So leave yourself a good 2 mil or so at the front. Just work on the thread past the point of the hook as per usual. Then you take your Glow Bright floss, number 8, and just come round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 or 8 times, whatever you like. Depending on how bushy or thick you want your tail. And the best thing to do with this is to actually just give it a wee bit of a tease out with your toothbrush or a brush. Then just offer this up. Come in with your thread turns and just work the thread again down until you're sort of way in line with the barb of the hook, and then come in, trim this to the length of the body. The length of your tail, it's up to you. You tie it to whatever length that you like. The rib, you want a chartreuse wire. So this is the UTC wire in chartreuse. If you don't have chartreuse, don't worry. Again, it's just the style that I'm trying to impart. Now, obviously, nothing beats the original octopus. Now, this is where, if you're just getting back into tan or you're new, you can work the thread forward and tie them two materials in, right? If you feel more comfortable doing that. Or what you can do, just get a bit of this off, sorry, is take the This is Opal Mirage Enlarged that I'm using, but any Mylar will do. You take your Mylar, you offer it in it, head up to the hook at this stage. Now you have all three materials at this point, and you just want to taste the wax on to help you with the grip. I'm going to do this slowly to show you. You want to bring this up if you're tying all three materials in. Try and keep it all uniformed. You don't want any lumps and bumps. And just work it forward. Nice and tight. And you've got a nice smooth body there, like that. All right? If you do it this way, the chartreuse thread will show through better than tying it in with the tail and the rib, right? Then when you want to bring your tinsel round, don't be doing this. Come round with the tinsel, bring it back on itself, and see that wee fold? So you want the leading edge to be at the tail, and then just come round with your Opal Mirage. Not overlapping turns. You can do that if you wish with your pattern. I'm just coming in and basically slightly touching each turn of the Mylar up the body to meet your thread to that point there. If you've waxed your thread, there should be already a taste of wax on, and just come in and catch that all in and trim away your waste. All right. You're looking at a nice bright hackle for this one. So take your body hackle. Same again. We're going to catch this. This is a saddle. This is the same saddle that I used in the video that's up on YouTube. Just come in, catch this in. You want to fold back the tip, or the stem of the hackle. Do so. Break away the stem. Then take your hackle and just basically come straight in, 2 turns at the shoulder of the fly, and then just come in till you're palmering. Now you wanna try and leave enough Opal Mirage showing. So 3 turns down there, come round with your chartreuse wire, follow it up with the tip of the hackle, and then 4 turns of the chartreuse wire through the hackle, and then at this point just come in and just sweep the fibres back and bring up in front your rib. Bring up your thread, bring your wire into your thread. That'll keep the tension on the rib. Just tie it in and then bend and break away the wire. If you're brave enough, break away the stem, sweep everything back and bring your thread nice and tight back up against your body hackle. All right? Now, it's up to you here. You can, on the one that I tied, I used a sunburst mallard flank. A dyed sunburst mallard flank. Right? On this one, I'm going to use, I think this is dyed, yeah, this is dyed chartreuse. So I'm going to use a chartreuse one. So just rip away all the rubbish. Bring back the fibres. Now you want the smallish hackle of the mallard flank for this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. So just take the tip of the hackle, trim it away, and you're just left with that wee tag end. See it there, Rob, all right? Just offer it up to the hook, round with your thread turns, and then just catch that baby in and just work your wee fibre there. Just gonna have to come back, work your thread back up tight. Now be mindful, because we have another hackle to put in front here. So one turn of the mallard flank feather will be plenty on this. Now, because it's a waterfowl, the feather's a waterfowl coming off a waterfowl bird, the fibres will want to stick together at times, but don't be worrying about that at the minute. Now usually I would fold that back, but the stem's too thick, so just bring if you can invert your vise round, just bring it round and just come in and clip away the feather nice and tight at the bottom. Just bring it back round, sweep everything back, and then just work your thread back up tight against your hackle. And you can see it now starting to take shape. Okay? And then just to finish off, your front hackle, you'll not get these anymore. If you don't have one, just use a long reach hackle. I was saying to Hugh or Nate on the WhatsApp, just any long pheasant hackle will do, dyed a nice red. So this is a golden pheasant breast feather. Or sorry, a rump, it's the red rump, it's right at the bottom. It's right at the bottom of the bird. You just take your golden pheasant rump, again, just sweeping it back. Don't drop it. Just sweep it back. Check your length. And what I want to see is, I want my front hackle to be just ever so longer than the first hackle. That's just how I tie it, but you can tie it the way you like. Offer this up. Now we have enough room here, because I'm only really looking to turn the half of this as well. Come round with your thread, catch in the tip of the hackle, fold back the tip, and work your thread back up. Nice and tight. Slip your fingers back. There's the tip of the hackle, and just break it away. Now, you want to be very delicate if you're using the rump feather, because they're not the most robust until you get it tied in. And then you just want to come round with your hackle, just constantly sweeping it back. Just bring it back. The feather wants to twist, just encourage the fibres to come back to that point there. Now one's enough for me. You might want to stick another one in and make it nice, and that's your own personal preference. It's up to you, right? So I'm not happy, so I'm going to go back, because I'm not happy the way that the hackle is sitting. So I'm going to come back in, just force it a wee bit more to sit the way I want. There. Now, that one full turn there is enough for me. So again, bring your thread up, your hackle down, and catch it in. Now, you can judge this by the stem. The stem on this is nice and thin. So all I'm going to do is the way I've been showing you the last couple of weeks. Just sweep the hackle fibres back and work your thread from the front up onto the hackle stem. Now, you don't want to go past that point, right? And this is just a bit of advice. You'll see people doing that. Showed you this last week. See that? You will know, but you will, and it's just a habit, because they think that the hackle's not tied in. It's not their fault. The hackle is well secured in. You've tied it in at the start. You've doubled the tip back. You've wound it on. You've tied the hackle in again, and then you're doubling the stem back. That hackle's not going nowhere. And this is just how I make small heads. So what I've done is, just go back to show you. So the hackle has been doubled back. You don't want to slip your thread over onto this like this. Keep it straight. and build it from the front up until the hackle, like that, keeping your thread tight. You should just be able to pop that away. Take another turn just to get the thread set, keeping the thread tight. Just come straight in with your whip finishing tool and just throw in your whip finish. And all you're doing now is just adding the colour, because the wax will take some of the colour out. Pull your thread tight, come in and trim away your tan thread. And there you go. That's just a variant. That's just a variant of it. Dead, nabbing to it. See, once you tie these lock flies and you can get to a point where you're happy with them yourself, because they'll just catch as many fish as anybody else's, you'll be able to tie anything. And the reason why I say that to you is Irish lock flies, or lock flies in general, teach you proportions and how to proportion the fly. Like see salmon flies, and we'll get on during the winter to tie them, and Dalkin flies, because it even wants me to tie some of my Dalkin flies. They're easy. Salmon flies have got to be one of the easiest to tie, because this is how I started off. This is how Eddie started me off on these, because this teaches you proportions and the fly. And then just to finish off, a wee drop of varnish, just right the whole way right round. I don't get too hung up about it getting into the eye. And then what I do is, I showed you this last week, if you take the needle, you come in underneath and just square everything off and make sure the eye is clean. The eye of the hook, obviously. And there you go. So that's a variant of a variant that I tied the other night, and all it is because I've changed the tail, the flank feather of the mallard. But it's basically the style of the octopus. That's what I'm trying to impart. You know what I mean? It's all about the proportion, basically from when you start the tail and work it up. So you will have seen at the start. See where I start my thread? Always on a fly like this, that's where I'm starting my body hackle. So I've measured it out. And there's no hard and fast rule. Leave yourselves plenty of room at the front to play with. Just leave yourselves plenty of room at the front. And you'll never crowd the eye, and you'll get a nice neat head. All right? Happy enough? Yeah, right. So it's just really, so see where I'm starting my thread there? That's where I'm starting my body hackle. So just work on the thread, make sure it's not tangled around the arm of your bobbin holder. And just work the thread down, shank of the hook, past the point, remove the waist tag, and then just come in with your tail. Now you can use any of the colours in the Glow Bright floss that you want. Let's give that a bit of a brush out. Just offer it up long. Remember your pinch and loop. Just work your thread back until it's in line with the barb. Trim this off. And I'll show you what I mean this time about tanning instead of tanning all three materials at once. So you want to take your chartreuse wire for your rib. Offer this up and onto your side of the hook, facing the camera. Now the last fly I tied, then I tied in the Opal Mirage there, didn't I? And then just worked it all forward. But if you're more comfortable, just take it forward with the wire, tan in your Glow Bright floss number 8, bring it back down to the tail, just to where you caught the tail in, and then take your Opal Mirage tinsel, catch this in, pull it in the length. Now you're going to have to try and work this forward and close touching turns, because you want the chartreuse thread to show through the Opal Mirage. Up to there. And then just like I showed you, don't come in and do this, that. So that means that the leading edge of the Opal Mirage tinsel is facing in towards the fly. Bring the tinsel around and get the leading edge, the straight edge, facing the tail. And then just come round, slightly, ever so slightly overlapping turns, and work the Opal Mirage up the length of your body. Follow this around with your thread and just catch that in nice and tight. Come in and trim away the Opal Mirage. All right? Then you take your body hackle. I'm just going to use the same coloured hackle here. Put one off. See, I'll get more of a. This is more like this is very webby, this one, so this will be nice on the fly. So just get rid of the bottom. That's the stem, and you're tying this in at the bottom of the hackle, not at the tip. Offer this up to the hook, catch it in, bring back the stem, clip that off, and then just come straight round and into your palmer. So 2 turns, and then whatever you like down the body, guys, but you don't want to cover up all of the Opal Mirage tinsel. So that's 3 turns. Come round with your rib, bring your hackle up, bring the rib up, bring the hackle down into the wire, into the rib. That's it caught in now. And then just 4 turns of the chartreuse wire up through the body. Sweep this back, bring this up in front, and catch in your wire. Don't use your scissors, just bend and break away the wire. Now while you're at this point, just put it like a wax on. Work the thread down to the eye of the hook and work the thread back up. Nice and tight. If you're brave enough, you can break away the tip. Then I'm just going to use this one. It's on the table here. So take your first front feather, stroke back the fibres to create your Christmas tree type shape, and then just come in, just bring it up to the camera so you can see. Trim away the top of the tip of the feather. Don't let your fingers go here because all the fibres will open up. Bring it up. When you bring it up, sweep back the fibres on the body hackle. Come round with your thread turns and just catch that in. Nice and tight. Now, the sort of way I said to you last week, don't bring your thread back down to here. Leave your thread where it is at the top. Then just sweep the fibres back, because look, watch what's happening. The thread's moving with me as I take the turn of the hackle. Right? And what that's going to allow you to do is basically to come straight in and tie it off. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put another one on just to show you the difference when you add different layers of feather. So there's the thread now down here. You know what I mean? So if you leave your thread up here, every turn of hackle, the thread's moving back down with you. It's moving back down with you, right? So this is what basically use this wee feather up. So that's 2 turns. Again, now you've got your thread where you need it. Bring the thread up. Bring the hackle, the thread through onto the hackle stem. Catch it in. Just work this down. Now, what I'm going to do is, it's thick, but just to demonstrate this as well, we'll just come in and fold everything back. Nice and tight. And just work the thread back up. Now, you can see that it's a thick stem because I'm having to take more turns of thread than I normally would. And then if you're brave enough, you can break that away. But you can see the difference now, because there's far more fibre on that. It wouldn't stop me fishing the fly, but I prefer the way I dressed it. For me, that's the way I would like to fish it, the first one, right? So again, bring your thread tight up, not onto the hackle, tight up to it. You don't want to tie onto it, right? And then you get your front hackle. So we will see here. Get one there. There's one there. So same now, as I was saying to David there, you can buy golden pheasant feathers, but they're strung the way David's blue guinea fowl is. And you can get them, I think it's off a guy at Bond Valley Flies, I think it is. So again, just stroking the fibres back, creating your Christmas tree. Now we're not going to cut the tip off this one, much like we did with the first one. Offer this up, you're all right, yours your thread turns are. You're right at the top against that hackle. Come round, 1, 2, 3. Should take you to the eye of the hook. Fold the tip back, and then work your thread back up over the tip, fingers back, break away. Again, leave your thread here. Don't bring it down to here. Just leave it up there. And then come in, sweeping the fibres back on itself. Come round with a turn, keep it come back, like that, up to there. Again, with enough fibre now here on that. So again, hackle round, thread coming up, bring the hackle down. Don't worry if you catch fibres. What you have to do is just come in and bring the fibre back, catch it in. Again, stem's thin enough on this, so you can fold it back, and hopefully you can see it on the screen, the camera's picking it up. Again, I'm working the thread back up, and absolutely never can pass that point. Again, it's just that, like I said to you earlier on, people's going to come up to here and do that. You don't need to do that. You've doubled the hackle back. It's well tied in. You break away the stem. You don't need any more thread turns, because you can take the thread turns when you're whip finishing. So you can build up the colour in the head, just like that. Pull your thread tight and come in and trim away your tan thread, and there you go. That's just obviously same version, just a wee bit heavier with the chartreuse, with the 2 turns. And there you go. All right. And then you just want your varnish or super glue, whatever you decide to use, and then just clean this off. Like that. Make sure the eye's clean. All right? Not hard. You're just spacing it out. Just spacing it out and just making sure you're leaving yourself room at the front. And that'll fish well, that, because it's got the shape that you're wanting in the fly. All right?